Dude, you might be the most problematic person we're going to have on this podcast. I want you to know that I took a massive risk having you on today. What's up, guys? Chris Rudiger here. Welcome back to another episode. I'm pumped because I got a good friend of mine. He grew up in New York, moved to Nashville, put out a bunch of music. He already has 120 million streams, signed a huge deal, JV, between Sony and with Ryan Tedder, which we're going to talk about. I've been so impressed. The past 2 years, you've just completely blown up, and the crazy part is you still can't even purchase a legal beer.
You know,
that's what blows my mind.
We're working on it, but I'm happy to be here.
Right?
Thank you for having me today.
Look, David J., welcome to the podcast, my dude.
Happy to be here.
And you even brought an entourage too. You brought probably the biggest entourage we've had for podcasts so far.
It's my boys.
Yeah, it's awesome. They travel with you quite a bit, huh?
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I even live with one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of each other, or you guys just...
we get so many fights.
Yeah.
We got in a fight at rehearsal today.
I feel like that's the brotherly love, though.
100%.
Right?
If you don't fight, then I don't like you.
There you go.
I'm really nice, and it's no good.
I love it, dude. Well, hey, it's been a crazy couple of years. I do want to talk about your start and how you got into music in the first place, because I feel like we actually grew up fairly close to each other, but
Yeah.
I didn't know you until you moved to Nashville. But like, what got you into music in the first place?
So I mean, I wanted to go to college for sports. Like I would do football and wrestling and baseball all since I was like 4 years old. And then I was watching the Justin Bieber movie one day, and I was like, this looks a lot cooler than playing sports and stuff. So I quit every sport like that day and sat in my basement in a little closet and learned how to sing and play guitar.
Let me guess, you were on the sidelines of the sports teams anyway.
Dude, I was quarterback. I gave it up.
Really? You had a good arm?
I mean, it was good. Like it worked.
Yeah.
Got the ball where it needed to go. It was like a Honda Civic. Like get you to A to B. Ain't no Ferrari.
What a reference.
That bitch moves.
So did you quit all these sports, but did you play, like, you didn't play any instruments at the time? Did you?
No.
How'd you learn?
I got kicked out of like choir. I was like the kid that always got kicked out in the hall for like chorus class and band. I used to play like the snare drum. Always got kicked out in every music class because I like didn't really care. I didn't try.
Did you ever get sent home?
One time. Not in choir class though. It was outside.
Something else.
It was a recess.
A story that we're gonna refrain from talking on the pod about.
Sorry, Mom.
When did you? Because you play guitar and piano. Like, when did you pick that up?
I'd say right when I watched the movie, I like got the guitar I had in my closet for 3 years, and I was like, I just can try to learn this, or I'm gonna suck at it. And then I like to learn stuff and like be really good at it though, so I can't be bad at something. So like I learned it and I like took the time to make sure I was gonna be good enough. And then like every instrument just came after that.
It's hard work paying off. Let me guess, your first song was a Justin Bieber song?
Yeah.
What was it?
One time. Girl, I love you.
Do you still play it in shows?
I do. I did it when we played that show in Boston together.
I remember you did. I didn't know if that was a special gift for me or not. Dude, I know you got your guitarist Mike in here. He's smiling too. It seems like it's his favorite song.
Look at that guy.
He's far from it. It's awesome, man. And then you got on TikTok, dude. I feel like you had 2020, 2021 when it first started. I feel like you were on the platform pretty early, built in a following. Like what made you decide to get online in the first place?
It was kind of during COVID, I'd say. There was like nothing going on, so I was like, this is probably my only bet on making stuff happen right now. So I like tried to study people and like what they did, and I kind of just did my own thing in my car for a while, and it's always, what are you doing, whatever that was, and that helped me like build what I have now. I wouldn't be here without TikTok. So
it's crazy. Were you studying other people and then like flipping it to make it your own? Like what was
so I'd see other people do stuff, and then like just like writing song. When you write songs, it's like, oh, I want a song that sounds like that, but you can't copy it. So it's like, I'm gonna tweak that to that, and then pretty much what you do with content. Like you like somebody's video, you're like, okay, that's sick. Like let me just do kind of what they're doing, but have my own little spin on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And did you start? Were you doing this? But like, were you playing live shows at all, or were you kind of just sitting in your room? Like
the live shows is more what I started doing, because I would do like open mic nights before TikTok. I was playing like 150 shows a year when I was like 15.
Up in New York.
Up in New York, like every bar I could get into that would let me play. I'd play like the headline set being like 16 with my mom in the corners, like scared to death. Like I was in a bar, but
That's awesome. You finish the show and then you get in the car and your
like,
mom drives you home.
Yeah, some of the girls like, yo, you want to like hang out and drink with us out there? I'm like, I got to like early morning at work. And
I bet the excuses got ridiculous.
I had to go to like 9th grade. The next day I'm like, I got like this big interview tomorrow. Like, I got to go home. Like, this is my driver, is my mom.
Yeah, this big interview. It's freshman year English. Unreal, dude. But I'd love to hear that you were playing early. Did you start playing as a band? Were you doing solo stuff?
So
what was kind of the vibe?
I used to open up for Mike's band. Mike was in a cover band, and I used to have to open up for them acoustic. Like
I did not know that. That's
at
unreal.
This one bar, and Mike never liked him.
What was the bar called?
It was called Gaffney's in Saratoga. But then I went from the headline set, or the happy hour opening for them, and then I went to the headline set.
When the opener becomes the headliner, you probably had a little bit more swag in your step after that.
I had a couple of new pairs of shoes and stuff. It worked.
There you go. That's awesome, dude. I have to say, I grew up in Boston, and I think a lot of people always think of like the South as the home of country, and obviously there's so much history. I didn't realize how much New York rides for country music.
No, it's big. Like, I tell people I do country, they're like, there's no country right there. I'm like, where I live, it's country as shit. Like, it's all woods and like
and a lot of Nashville artists love going up to New York or Maine or Boston, like for shows in the summer.
The country fans are great.
Even Chicago's got a huge, like Windy City Smokeouts, one of the biggest festivals. And I was just up there. I was like blown away. I'm like,
it's crazy.
I thought country music was just south of of that. So you're playing. You're singing a little bit. You're having some moments of virality. Phones popping off. When did you start putting out your own music? When did it transition from just, I'm going to sing some covers and then to, this is an actual original song I'm going to put out?
So I actually put a couple songs out before TikTok. Like, I wrote and like produced them in a studio in Albany, and then none of them really like popped off. But then once I had the TikTok, I did a couple more, and then those started like really starting to elevate things when I did them on there.
I feel like everyone has their first shitty mixtape that they put out of some songs.
Dude, I deleted it. Well, no, actually, it's on Spotify, but it's under my old last name. Like, nobody ever found it.
Do you care to share what that might be, so we could look it up?
They can try to find it. Good luck.
You should make a CD.
Some of these people are real good at finding stuff out, so I'm sure they can find it.
Dude, you should make a CD of all your old songs and have like limited prints of it. Dude, these are the worst songs I ever wrote.
Very bad, really bad.
Well, I'm glad you've moved up in the world.
Elevated a little bit.
So it's crazy, man. I saw you in 2020 on TikTok. I saw like on some of the more viral clips, and then I started digging in. I saw you were singing a bunch of covers, writing your own stuff, playing. I was like, wow, this dude's really talented. Then you come down to Nashville, we link up, and I feel like all throughout this process, I don't remember exactly if it was the beginning or like, when we had met, but Lost My Heartbreak, which is, I think, really the kind of the first song that kicked it off for you, like takes off. Like, talk to me about the process of seeing that song connect with so many people.
I mean, I was like still living in New York. Like, I had nothing really going on. Then I posted that song, and it was like, I didn't even know what to do I didn't even know what to do. It was like, I still haven't had a song stream better than it. And it was like my first song out was horrible, by the way. Like, I really hope I could beat it soon. But yeah, it's crazy. I was like, wow, people like listen to my music. And I was going back playing those bar shows that I did like 2 years ago after COVID, and people were singing my song now instead of like cover songs. And like, it was like just way different when that happened. I was like, okay, this is sick.
That's amazing, dude. It's such a good feeling when you look out and people know the lyrics to your song.
Or how bad it is when they don't. Like, fuck, dude.
That's also very
like,
humbling.
You're just like waiting, like, I'm sorry, it's gonna be over soon. Just sit there.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's awesome. What's crazy is I think when that song first came out for you, it had like 4 million or 5 million streams in the first month. Like,
in the first
maybe in the first couple weeks, right?
It did 1 million first week.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about just like when you get you have a video, it gets a couple million views, and that's probably normal for you now. But like, if you actually quantify that and think about like how many football stadiums that is, or how many people at a show, like,
it's crazy. And then you're like, oh, you go play a show, and you're like, y'all know the words, and then they know. You're like, fuck, I thought you thought the video.
Hey, it's a work in progress, you know. Well, I'll tell you what, dude, you put out that song, and it lands you your first record deal, and here you are now, which I want to get into. So, We're going to be right back here on the podcast. We got much more to talk about with David J. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. David J in the house. Lost My Heartbreak. Huge song on socials. Pops off. I feel like after that, your DMs have to be flooded.
They definitely weren't as empty as they were before.
I do have to ask, are you just a receiver of messages, or are you sliding into DMs yourself?
I mean, no, I definitely slide a lot.
Yeah.
Probably more. Probably a 70% slide, 50% receiver. Wait, it doesn't add up to 100.
No, it does not.
No way.
David J, music star, not a mathematician.
Wait, what was that? 70-30. There you go. 70,
Okay.
probably 70-30.
Understood. I'm glad we figured that out. Is there one particular country artist that you wish would slide into your DMs? Now is your chance to tell them.
I mean, I've definitely slid into Meg Maroney's a couple times.
Yeah, she now has a new boyfriend. Did you see?
I was so upset about that. I put out my story and it ruined my day.
I think it was a very difficult Monday morning when the news broke for all of us.
It was a rough morning, bro.
Yeah, definitely tough. But did she respond when you DM'd her?
No, I've unsent them a couple times. Like, send them again just to make sure.
The send, unsend. That's
because you never know.
brutal.
Like maybe they're not cool enough. So you send that one. You're like, okay, she didn't answer. Unsend. Try something new.
Yeah.
And then that 3 or 4, and then you're like, okay.
So she's the celebrity country crush.
She's the
for
country. You. Yeah, country for sure.
I did see a video recently of you dancing to a Tate McRae song.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
It was questionable.
It was interesting is how I'll leave it. And I stopped and I watched a little bit and then I said, I'm going to check out the comments. And I see the top comment is Tate McRae commenting.
That was a big day.
Big day.
That was
for
a
the boy.
big win. I called my mom and everything.
Yeah.
I called my mom. I called everybody I knew.
What does David J do when Tate McRae comments on his post?
I sat there and looked at it for a minute. I just let it sink in. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, she commented. And she didn't really know who. She didn't really care. She's like, okay, cool. I go back to work. Hung up, and then I just like called all my friends, and I was like, "This is it, guys. It's gonna happen."
It's like a weirdly wholesome move. Tate McRae comments on your video, and you call your mom. That's awesome, man.
There we go, Tate. She see that? Call
she should be proud of you, though. Yeah. Tate McRae's a legend.
But the comment was all right. But today is where it changed. Today
100%.
is where it changed.
Yeah, it's a new beginning for you, right?
Today was a big deal.
Well, I will say, I'm sure a collaboration with Tate McRae is probably something of interest to you. And I do believe that you guys have a mutual friend by the name of Mr. Ryan Tedder.
Good guy.
How did you and Tedder link up in the first place?
So it's actually a crazy story. So I was in Los Angeles doing The Voice when I was maybe 15, 16 with my mom.
Okay, so like last year.
During COVID. Yeah, last year. So I was with my mom. It was during like kind of the end of COVID, and I was out there. And there was the lawyer of the artist. I probably don't even know if I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this shit, but I'm sorry.
Look at this. We get all the tea on this pod.
I sent him a song, and he was like representing our artist group of the artist on the show. And I was like, he's like, yeah, send us some songs. Like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I was like, whatever, fuck. Sent the song in. I get a call like 9 o'clock. I was like, yo, I like this shit. She's like, I know this guy that knows Ryan. And I was like, okay, like nothing's gonna happen. This is like whatever. I'm not gonna get excited. He's like, go to this house tonight in Beverly Hills and like just to go hang out with some people that I know. And we couldn't leave our hotel room for The Voice. Like we weren't allowed to leave. Like we'll get kicked off and thrown home right after this.
But you're sitting there like, Ryan Tedder just invited me to a house party. I got to find a way to get out of here.
So yeah, me and mom, he wasn't at this party. I had to go through like
you had to go through the people. It was like a journey to get to him. Yeah.
So me and my mom sneak out of this hotel at like 10 o'clock. I'm dressed in like a church outfit because I didn't know what to wear. I wore like a collared shirt.
You wore a church outfit?
It looked like I was going to church. I don't know why I brought a guitar. It was like a whole thing. Me and my mom snuck out of this hotel, ran down the street, got an Uber. We're in the hills, like $20 million house easily. We're just chilling at it. We're just like all around all these people that wrote big songs for people. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was sitting there, and then I ended up playing like a couple songs in a room acoustic for like these 2 girls that were there, which was a really weird moment. I was scared.
How did that happen? Was there just a guitar and you picked it up? You're like,
I brought the guitar.
Like,
I brought the guitar, and I was like, yeah,
strategic.
They're like, I want to hear it. I was like, I was scared to death, dude. I'm like, I'm not doing it down here. We gotta go upstairs.
But you knew what you were doing.
So I was like, all right, I'll play it, whatever. I left my mom downstairs, so she didn't come upstairs for that. And then fast forward, like I had finally things got kind of going with me, and the guy that was at the party like knew Ryan, and then I think Ryan liked some of my stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. And by the way, I took Ryan's class. This is a funny part. I took his he had like an online studio class. Did you see that ever?
Yeah.
So he had that. And I got that for Christmas like 3 years ago. Like after the voice and all that stuff, I got it for Christmas from my grandma was to take the Ryan Tedder class. And I was so excited because I was like idolized him.
Yeah.
And we like would make songs and like, by the way, it's not with him. It's just like he's instructing it. And I like did a couple songs on the thing, and Ryan would like listen to the songs maybe at the end of it. And I'm like, he's going to listen. He's going to love it, hopefully. And then the end of the class came. Didn't listen to my song, and I was really bummed out about that. Yeah. And I have like a DM from me texting him like after I did, I'm like, yo, love the class, favorite part of my day. Never answered it, like sat there for a while.
Oh man.
And then fast forward to this year, stuff finally got going. I had some like deal offers and stuff, and he invited me over to the house in LA this time, like to listen to some new songs, and we sat there and he liked them, and then he's like, yeah, he wanted to like somehow work with me, and I was like, yeah, so he did the deal with Sony. Which
congratulations,
yeah,
man. So it's Tedder.
Yeah.
And what's the name of Tedder's company?
Runner,
right? Yeah. So it's Runner and Sony and here in Nashville,
Yep.
and you guys are crushing it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you met Ryan Tedder?
Scared to death. I'll run you through it. So I'm sitting in the back part of a house. Main house is up there. It's like his studio house. I got invited there. I was shaking the whole time, dude. So scared. Sitting in the back room waiting. With Brandon Silverstein, who's the other guy that signed me with them. And we're out there. All of a sudden, he was walking out. I started like shaking, dude. I didn't know what to do. I like stood up and like tried to shake his hand, but I think he was going for a dap. So I kind of hit like
you had the awkward
weird,
the dab shake.
Already a shitty start to the time, and then
see when you don't hit the dab correctly, it's like where do we go from here?
Did
you think you were going to lose your deal because you didn't dab Ryan Tedder?
I thought I didn't do it right, and then
super fair.
So then we're outside, and he's like, "All right, let's like hear some of your songs," and I was like, oh shit, like this is not gonna be good. I was gonna tell me they suck, like all this stuff. Played them, and he somehow like liked them. And fast forward, we write together and stuff. Like a lot of good things have happened. He's a very good person to help lead, and
absolutely,
I look up to him a lot. So yeah, he's been very good.
Dude, small world, man. I feel like crazy stories like that happen in music. Not necessarily always with Ryan Tedder, but I hear these stories of like. It couldn't be like right place, right time and connecting. And it's such a relationship driven industry. I'm just glad that you found somebody that I think is perfectly aligned with you and your vision. And I'm just pumped for all this new music. I will say you have an EP that's coming out.
We do.
Like in a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure. So like talk to me about writing this EP. What's the process? Yeah,
I mean, we did the lead single off it is a song I wrote with him. So it's really cool. I'm pretty pumped for that one. And
what's it called?
It's called Rest of Your Life.
Rest of Your Life. Yeah. Let's go.
Classic lover boy.
Yeah. Is it like a wedding song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm looking for a song to walk down the aisle. It's going to be a while. I'm not anywhere close to getting married, but I'll put it in my queue for 7 years from now. Yeah.
Got one for you. But yeah, so that's going to be the lead single. And I wrote a lot of the songs in his studio at the house there. But then the lead single I did with him. But I'm pretty pumped. I mean, I'd definitely say there's a song for everybody on the EP. Like one I wrote in my hometown in Albany with Mike. We went to the studio one day and we were just bored, like messing around, and we ended up writing a song and it made it. So I'm pretty pumped for it.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. It's gonna be great. I'm excited that you're putting out your first I mean, it's a body of work, and you have a song out now too. After we broke up.
Yes, after we broke up.
After we broke up is it's a jam.
Yeah.
It's a jam. It's a breakup song. Was it based off a true story?
Yeah.
That was very unconfident. Yeah.
No, 100%.
It is a yeah.
Actually, 100%, 120%. Yeah.
It was kind of. It seems like a yeah where you don't want me asking more questions, but I'm gonna ask. Tell me the story.
No, like I wrote a lot of songs. I probably got my record deal off songs I wrote all about one girl.
This one girl is like
Made me a
breakups are
decent
good
amount
for
of money.
something. Yeah, dude, you got to write this girl a check and be like, thank you.
Yeah, right. I can't unblocked.
You've thought about it.
But yeah, it's a bunch of true stories in these songs.
There you go, man. Well, I'm pumped. Comes out. What's that? January? What day?
January 19th.
January 19th. We got a David J EP. You guys got to check it out. Make sure you pre-save it, right? Pre-save super important. You make sure you get that on your TikToks. Dude, I'm pumped about all this new music, but I could not have you on this podcast without talking about one very important thing. That is the sport of pickleball.
Oh, let's go, dude.
You're a big pickleball guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty big, yeah.
How often are you playing?
I try to play every day. About every day, yeah.
There's a lot of Nashville artists that are now playing pickleball.
Yeah, but
I've started to dabble in it a little bit myself.
I don't even think they're not about it.
Do you think you're the best Nashville artist pickleballer?
You know, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to say it, but I will play anybody that challenges me in a pickleball match for sure.
I think we should do an invitational.
I think we should.
I think a Nashville invitational, and we get a bunch of people
100%. I'm there.
If you could have one pickleball partner for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Like celebrity, or
it can be anyone.
My boy Bob from New York.
Is not where I thought this was going. What's up with Bob? Is Bob like
Bob's like this 60-year-old dude, and we show up we play at 8 a.m. in New York, and he's filthy.
Did you meet Bob through pickleball?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I love going to play pickleball because nobody talks about music. They don't even know my name or anything. We just play pickleball. Just all competition.
Yeah, it's just you and Bob.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get too personal here, but are you at all worried that Bob's knees might blow out anytime soon?
No,
Seems
he's
like
definitely
he's
definitely had some questionable falls.
Yeah.
That I didn't think he would recover from. But
maybe that's part of the dynamic of you guys as a duo. It's like old guy, young guy. Mm-hmm. Like you kind of pick where he's not good at. Maybe Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, awesome, man. Well, hey, I like to play this game. You can see I'm decked out in all this area.
Yeah.
They're a sponsor of ours here for this rapid fire segment. We throw 60 seconds on the clock, and I just hit you with these questions. Most people have been pretty good, but something tells me that you might be the champ here. So,
all right,
Matty boy, wind up those 60 seconds. Let's get this thing in business. Ready? Dream venue to play.
Red Rocks.
Dream collaboration.
Drake.
Wow, I like that. Are you a talker or a texter?
Talker.
There you go. Are you ice cream cake or regular cake?
Ice cream.
What's a secret talent people wouldn't know about you?
Pickleball. Oh, they know about it though.
Well, they know about it now, but we'll let it count.
Okay.
Celebrity crush.
Dave McRae.
He says it quietly. Do you think pineapple on pizza is allowed?
No, I don't like that.
We'll talk about that more later. Are you a baseball cap or cowboy hat? I kind of feel like I know where this is going. Yeah, you're a baseball
Back
cap
in the day,
guy.
cowboy hat though.
Right, there you go. Do you have your own Netflix account or do you use somebody else's?
I have my own Netflix account. I have one of my ex's Hulu accounts to log into.
There you go. That's fair. Well, you're 20 years old. You're moving up in the world, right?
Dude.
There you go. And last question: if you weren't doing music, what do you think you'd be doing?
I wanted to be a detective. I love
a detective of what?
I love like police movies and stuff. Like
that's cool.
Yeah.
Like NCIS, like crime stuff. Like, is it?
No, like kind of like the show SWAT.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that, but like that kind of stuff.
I mean, I've certainly heard it. I actually haven't watched it.
You should watch it.
Really? Mm-hmm. Did you take any classes for detective stuff?
No, I mean, pretty good at like finding out if girlfriends cheat on me. But that's about the most detective.
That's the most detective work he's done. Hey, it's a start though, right? Oh man, that's awesome, dude. Well, hey, that was 60 seconds presented by Ariat. That was pretty impressive, Dave. I have to say, I learned something new about you. If all goes to hell, you're going to become the next best
Paul
detective.
Blart.
There we go. Paul Blart. What's his quote? Safety never takes a holiday. That's the big one. Dude, are you going on the road anytime soon?
Yeah, we're going to do a headline tour in the spring. It's a couple support dates in next year. Yeah. That we haven't really announced yet, but
that'll be fun, man.
Headline tour.
Headline tour is incredible. Do you know how many cities yet, or it's still?
I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a decent amount.
A lot is more than some or none, so I'll give you that. I love it, dude. I assume people can connect. Like you'll post about it on your socials and online and all that. Well, dude, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
You guys make sure you check out this EP. You make sure you check out Dave online for all his pickleball highlights, as well as his new music.
And just hit the message button.
And maybe
you got
hit
my Instagram. Just
maybe
hit the-
slide in for a DM.
Send a wave.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, Meg Maroney. Dude, it's been awesome, man. You know I'm a big supporter of you, so
Appreciate
thanks
you
for stopping
always,
by.
bro. You're the man.